Well, it's time to begin the Regeneration Era of Rising Ninja Warrior, and kicking us off is DogsRock67, a competitor who's competing for their first time in this competition, but who has been around the Roblox ninja scene for around a decade now. He's got more than enough experience with this type of thing, and he is through the first obstacle. And on to the propeller bars, reworked from last season, moved from stage 2 to stage 1. And DogsRock is through, and now another obstacle that's been moved, the Dragon Rider. And he's got to grab onto this bar, taking a second swing. And got the dismount, and no, he undershot, and DogsRock goes down. Well, next up on stage 1 is a seasoned veteran. It's a Thunderbird. Cleared the course in Season 1, but has not gotten back to Stage 2 since. Can he get back onto the propeller bars and slips off the trampoline? Walked right off, and down he goes. 10 seconds left for Skillicle. Can he get through? No, he's gonna run out of time. Trying to be too careful here, and he times up on the second stage, one obstacle short. Turtwig quickly up rapid ascent, now into propeller bars, goes quickly, and Turtwig goes down! One jump away from the final stage. He goes for it, and Grant undershoots! He's gonna go for it, and Bowsy Pie has landed the dismount! Goes for it, and Drastical has completed stage 3! Goes for it, and he got it with ease. Basepeak is headed back to the final stage. Sounding, Bowsy Pie going at electric speed, and Bowsy Pie has become the first champion since Season 2. Slips off. Can he get to the end? Andrastical is flying up the rope. It's going to be close. Andrastical at the top. Did he do it? Yes, he did. And Basepeak is going to do it again. He has completed the final stage for the second time in his career. Hello everyone, and welcome to the Regeneration Era of Rising Ninja Warrior. Last time around we saw Basepeak, Andrastical, and Bowsy Pie achieve glory and gain the title of Rising Ninja Warrior. And now the course has been revamped and we've moved to the Dilly Desert for this season. The course has been significantly made more difficult, and there's some new obstacles and some familiar ones that have been moved around. Let's now take a look at some of the obstacles our 100 challengers will be taking on here this time around on the first stage. The Dragon Rider has been moved from its spot at the beginning of Stage 2 to the third obstacle of Stage 1. The brand new Car Wash is here to challenge competitors' timing. And at the end of the course is the Caution Ring, a brutal obstacle that's taken out the likes of Yas and Andrastical. Stage 1 must be completed in 90 seconds or else you will be eliminated. Challengers that can complete it in under the time limit will be advancing to the second stage. Next up on stage 1 is Your Senator, formerly American Roblox YouTube, who is the golden competitor on Season 1, making it all the way to the vertical limit. Last competed in Season 2 where he failed the wingnuts on the second stage. We'll have to see if he has any rust here on stage 1, not having competed since early 2020, but he is through the first obstacle. We just saw Thunderbird go out here, who is another competitor who competed back in Season 1, but Your Senator, no trouble. And on to Dragon Rider, and he walks right off the platform. And that is not how he hoped his return would go. Well, next up on stage 1 is SportsAnt123. Went down on Giant Chain in Season 3, and then the first obstacle, the roadblock last season. And it's the first obstacle once again. SportsAnt gonna quickly get a chance to get some revenge from last season, as he is through the roadblock. Gets a bit of revenge there. That's gotta feel good. And now onto the propeller bars. And he lands the dismount. Dragon Rider's not been beaten so far. Got the pendulum, now gotta grab onto the bar. Gotta get this dismount. He just lands it. And he's through the Dragon Rider. And we'll get our first look at the brand new car wash. You gotta climb your way up. And then make your way up the second one. And he slips off and Sports Ant goes down. The first competitor to try the new obstacle can't solve it. Well, next up on stage 1 is Norwegian. And he is representing the Conquest platform on this course. And he has the gun. Norwegian making his way across the roadblock. And he is through the first obstacle. Roadblock not taking out anybody so far, even though it is harder than last time, and he is through propeller bars as well. Dragon Rider's been tricky so far. Norwegian grabs the bar, gotta get the dismount, and almost overshoots that platform, but he does land it, and now is onto the brand new car wash. Sports Ant went down here a moment ago, but he lands that second one and got the dismount, and now into aerodynamics. This obstacle about the same as it was last season. And Norwegian making his way through, and he makes a costly mistake. Lands on the right side of that fourth step, and it spins just a little too much. Well, next up on stage 1 is Takakun 555, best known for his co-commentary on SASUKE Dynamite. And he is on the course, making his way through the roadblock fairly slowly, taking his time here. But he will get through the obstacle. Now onto the propeller bars. And he gets that first bar, slowly moving around. He's not going for speed here, which probably will cost him if he gets further on the course. And he undershoots the pendulum, and Takakun is down. Not the way he wanted his run to go. And a bit of disappointment, but a great run from Takakun. So that second bar and Hawks fan goes down. Now making his way onto the Dragon Rider, and Savage slips off the side. James also now onto the Dragon Rider and undershoots the mount. They go down in their first time on the course. What a good run. Well, here comes Epic Oliver 318, who did not compete last season, but did compete in seasons 2 and 3. This is his first time trying this obstacle, the roadblock. Lots of these obstacles he'll be trying for his first time, as he's never made it past stage 1. Oliver is on now to the propeller bars and turns that first bar, gets the second, and Oliver's through the first 2 obstacles and on to the Dragon Rider. Lands that pendulum, grabs onto the bar, and great job on the dismount. And now onto the brand new car wash, and he walks right off the platform. Epic Oliver walks right off the end of the platform and doesn't even attempt to mount the obstacle. And Oliver's season comes to an end just like that. Next up on stage 1 is Cheesy VIP, who's also known for co-commentary on SASUKE Dynamite similarly to Takakun. And Cheese is making his way quickly through the roadblock, and he's through the first obstacle. And now onto the propeller bars, taking a minute to line up that mount. Got the second bar, and Cheese is through the propeller bars and onto Dragon Rider. Grabs onto that pendulum, quickly going across. And a great dismount from Cheese and onto the brand new car wash, which has confused some of these competitors so far. And gets that second section, now climbing up. Goes for the dismount and gets bounced off the end of the platform, and Cheesy VIP goes down on stage 1. and just mere inches away from completing the obstacle. Well, next up on stage 1 is Muffin Power 1234, who's gained a bit of a reputation for timing up halfway through the course with her friend Totally Kate on other competitions, so we'll see if she can break that streak here on this course this afternoon. And Muffin through the first obstacle fairly quickly, but taking her time on this trampoline and making her way across the propeller bars. Got the second bar, just the dismount, and lands it. Muffin now on to the Dragon Rider. I'll now just send it over to the live audience.
Oh no, what is this strategy? No. What is she doing? Not how this obstacle works. This obstacle doesn't work like this. What are you doing? Just go for the bar.
Alright, she has half the time left.
Oh my god. Go, just go. What are you doing?
Alright, this is oddly entertaining.
This is over.
I hope
Oh,
he's
this
gonna
runs.
time up.
Just go for the.
Go! She must
You're not
have
gonna
really
make it.
brought this.
I know.
And she has
Come
20
on.
seconds left.
Why is she still trying to push it?
I don't understand.
I can't.
I can't.
Yes, yeah, that's not how it works. We have our first Dragon Rider time up of all
You literally said she's gonna time up on the third
Timed up,
obstacle.
she timed up.
I know.
And once again, Muffin Power has timed up halfway through the, not even halfway through the course. And here goes Mac on the Dragon Rider. Goes for the dismount and undershoots. Dart on to the propeller bars. Goes for the second. And a poorly timed jump ends his season. Taking a long time here on Roadblock and taking plenty of jumps and still comes up short of that third tire. TJ gets through the Dragon Rider and is on to the new obstacle, the car wash. Taking a moment before he jumps on and he hits his head on one of the pillars. Young-san onto the Dragon Rider now, goes for the bar, lands it, but dismount, and he jumped way too late there. And through the roadblock, It's Me Ninja quickly into the propeller bars and goes way too fast and slides right off that first bar. Up now on stage 1 is Mark Stick Luke, who made it to the propeller bars on stage 2 a season ago, and will get a pretty early chance to avenge himself as it's been moved to the second obstacle this time around. And Mark is off on stage 1. Got past this stage last season. It was the first time he'd ever done that in this competition, and now onto the propeller bars. This took him out last season, but he gets through it with ease and is onto the Dragon Rider, which has given competitors a bit of trouble, and it's been this dismount. Mark goes for it, and he undershoots, and Mark is out on stage 1. Once again goes down on the first stage, and Mark's season comes to an end. Well, next up is Rich Squigs, who made it to the Lunatic Ledges on stage 2 last season, but this course much tougher than it was a year ago. He has an opportunity now, though, to make it back to the second stage, and Rich Squigs has begun. Beat the roadblock in the last season. It's a little tougher this time, but he gets through it with ease once again, and onto the propeller bars, which he also took down. And he is right through the modified version of the obstacle that he beat, and he undershoots the mount of Dragon Rider. And his season is over. Well, on the start line now is Spin Me in a Toilet, who is running for their first time this season. And they are off on the roadblock, making their way across these tires and got through the first obstacle, and now on to the propeller bars. Gotta rotate these bars around, and is right through. On to the Dragon Rider. We just saw Rich Squigs go down here, and Spin Me in a Toilet will not. Gets right through it very well. And on to the car wash. Brand new obstacle. And Spin Me in a Toilet spinning around and taking another rotation. And this is not going to help him later if they get further on the course. Gets the dismount and is on to the aerodynamics. Spin Me in a Toilet. If they get past this obstacle, they will have the record for furthest run so far. It grabs the rope and got the dismount, and we are going to get our first look at the redesigned roulette row. An obstacle returning from Season 3. It was on Stage 2. Spin Me in a Toilet goes for the dismount and undershoots. Just mistimed it. And a great run on Stage 1 ends on the 6th obstacle. NES Ninja onto the propeller bars and stumbles on the trampoline and just walked right off. SASUKE barbecue. Oh, got that tire spinning out of control and Rick cannot recollect himself and goes down. Last Ocean making their way up to the top. Get onto that second one, got it. And going back. Now the dismount, an early jump. Biotic. Bars taking his time and he walks off as well. Wow. Next to tackle the first stage is Hello Smello with a yellow suit, which might not be the most ideal thing to wear here in the desert, but we'll see what they make of it. Anyways, on the roadblock now, and nearly through, got the dismount and onto the propeller bars. We've seen a few people walk off the trampoline, almost did, but Hello Smello gets through it and is onto the Dragon Rider. Obstacle that's caused some problems, and he's taken his sweet time getting onto this obstacle. And he's on the mat and got the dismount and onto the car wash. Not been able to ever try this obstacle before. We'll see if he can solve it. Going for that second one and poorly timed jump. Really undershot it there, and Hello Smello is out on Stage 1. Well, next up to Stage 1 is Ozway Rise Up, who made it to Stage 2 back in Season 3 and went down on the roulette row, an obstacle that's made its return this time around. If he can get to the 6th obstacle, he'll have a chance to avenge his failure from 2 years ago. Ozway got the dismount of roadblock on the propeller bars, and he is being very careful not to walk off the trampoline. And that kind of nervousness paid off there. And is on to the Dragon Rider. He's being very careful on this course. And lands the dismount, and now with a chance at car wash. And he's gonna once again be very careful, let it go all the way around. But he is wasting some time. Ozway gets to the second section, now just needs the dismount, and he lands it. If he can beat this obstacle, he'll be the second to reach the roulette row. We saw Norwegian go down here earlier. Ozway goes for the rope and walks right off that 5th step and goes down. A simple mistake. Took it for granted, and it cost him. Next up on Stage 1 is Yu-Chan98765, who famously walked right off the end of the giant chain back in Season 3. Now Yu-Chan on the roadblock. Trying not to repeat that fate, but also would be able to get back to the final obstacle. Got through the first obstacle, and now on to the propeller bars, taking a pause and doing a little dance. I don't think Yu-Chan knows there's a time limit, and is onto the propeller bars now, but wasted a lot of time and isn't making any up here. And Yu-Chan goes for the pendulum, got it, Now under 55 seconds, Yu-chan a late jump and goes down on the Dragon Rider. And goes out on stage 1. Well, currently on the course is Light V on the Dragon Rider. Gonna grab that bar and got the dismount. Light V onto the car wash. We'll see how they tackle the new obstacle. And they are speeding through it. Light V quickly up and quickly out. And now into aerodynamics with about 55 seconds. We've seen Norwegian and Osway both go down on this obstacle, but it is no problem for Light V. And on to the roulette row, only the second competitor to reach this point. The first was Spin Me in a Toilet, and they went down on the dismount. Light takes a second swing, goes for it, and got it! And we get our first look at the redesigned highway, a little tougher than last season. And Light V, one more obstacle to go, and it's the caution ring. Dangerous obstacle, cannot take any of these jumps for granted, just the dismount to go, and Light V mistimed it and comes up ever so slightly short at the end of stage 1, and his season ends just like that. Heartbreaking. Lays powder on propeller bars and walks right off the trampoline, and down he goes. And here goes Chimchar. Their way across the roadblock very slowly. Chimchar undershoots that third tire. Here's Weird William 999. And a weird strategy on propeller bars, and just barely undershoots that second bar. Drifting down, walks right off. Another person goes down right there. Next up is Epic Polish Bunny, who's gone down on the first obstacle in both seasons 2 and 3. Looking to get past it for the first time. Has not ever faced the roadblock though. And quickly making it across the dismount. Does a spin! And Polish try to get a little bit too celebratory, and it cost them. Well, next up on stage 1 is Dip K Joe, who ran back in season 3 and went down on the third obstacle, the gridlock. An obstacle not around anymore, and this is his first time competing in over 2 years, so we'll see how he can do. He runs other competitions such as Blue Ninja Warrior. Dip K Joe is through the second obstacle. On to Dragon Rider, which has been tricky so far. Dip K Joe on the bar, and he's got the dismount through the first 3 obstacles pretty well so far. 25 seconds on the car wash. He's quickly up that second spinner, and he has got the dismount. Dip K Joe annihilating the course so far, and he's got a fairly good shot right now to become our first clear. 50 seconds on the clock. Dip K Joe through 5 obstacles. Roulette row is next up. Dip K Joe goes for the second and undershoots. Goes down on roulette row, and that will end his season. So far, we've seen 35 attempts on stage 1, and yet nobody has completed it, the closest being Light V, who went down 1 jump short of the buzzer. And our next competitor is hoping to change that, and they've got a great record in other competitions.
渡っていっています。ここは楽かった。しかしそれに打ち勝ってゴール地点が見えてきた。完全制覇へは間もなくもうそこだ。初の完全制覇、10回目の挑戦で決めた。100m の無冠地獄を制して見事にこの赤いマット。
Sasha, having completed the entire course in other competitions, is looking to finally get past stage 1 for their first time ever. To find out if they can, let's go down back to the start line on stage 1. Well, here's Sasha, ready to tackle the course. won SASUKE Dynamite 5 since attempting the course back in Season 4, so we'll have to see how Sasha can do this time around. Has never completed Stage 1, looking to do that for their first time here on the toughest rendition of the course. Nobody has made it through Stage 1 so far, the best result being Light V, making it to the end of Caution Ring. Sasha gets through the propeller bars, and now on to the Dragon Rider. Caused some trouble so far for some of these competitors. It's been this dismount specifically, but no trouble for Sasha. On to the car wash. Brand new obstacle this season, but Sasha moving quickly across, and they have solved it easily and quickly through. Onto the aerodynamics, has about 51 seconds left headed into this obstacle on a decent pace, but gotta keep it going. Sasha grabs the rope and got through the aerodynamics. 3 obstacles left, the first of which Roulette Row. This has taken out Dip K Joe and Spin Me in a Toilet so far. Sasha taking a third swing, gets that second wheel. The dismount is very challenging, but Sasha gets through and is onto the highway. 2 obstacles to go with 25 seconds on the clock. Sasha on that third platform gets through the highway. 1 obstacle left. This took down Light V, and Sasha takes the second rotation here. Now gets on, the klaxon sounding. Sasha, the dismount. No! Just like Light V, Sasha makes the same mistake and comes up ever so slightly short. Well, if you look at it again, Sasha does a great job getting over the first 2 walls, but on the dismount lines it up a little too far to the outside and turns way later than they should have, and it cost them a shot at the second stage. Astral, now onto the propeller bars. Uh-oh, undershoots. Here he goes, slips off. A slight error there. Full Earth, going slowly here. The dismount, and a little too quick. Master gets that second spinner, just the dismount to go. Master walks right off the end. We're now through 40 competitors and are still in search for our first clear of the Regeneration Era, and next up it is a veteran who's ran many seasons. It's Bowling Ninja. Went down at the end of Stage 1 last season, ran out of time. Bowling looking to finally get to the second stage. And is through the first obstacle. Bowling made it to Stage 3 back in Season 2. Has not reached that point since then, struggling a bit here on propeller bars and has to take his second rotation. And not going with a very quick pace. So far 25 seconds through the first 2 obstacles. And Bowling is going to have to speed up if they want to be able to get through this course. Through the Dragon Rider now for Car Wash. The brand new obstacle. And it's caused some trouble for some competitors so far, but Bowling Ninja again, taking another rotation here on this first spinner. You cannot waste time like this. Bowling Ninja has to pick up the pace here. 35 seconds on the clock and only halfway through the course. Bowling cannot slow down at any point if they want to have any chance of clearing Stage 1. Bowling grabs the rope and got the dismount there. Now 3 obstacles to go with 20 seconds. Bowling on the roulette row and tries to go quickly and swing to the second on 1 rotation, and it does not work out. Well, we're about to get right into our next run, and it is Thanny Bear, who last season went down on the gridlock. This is their second time competing. In other competitions, they have done very well, such as Battle of the Ninjas, where they won the entire competition. Thanny Bear hoping to be the first clear, but not going too quickly here on these first 2 obstacles. A little faster, though, than our last competitor. Thanny Bear gets that bar and got the dismount. And onto the car wash with about a minute left. Thanny Bear going to go for that second spinner. Gets it. Thanny Bear at a much better pace than Bowling Ninja was, 50 seconds, headed into the aerodynamics, but still has to go fast. Fanny Bear gets that rope and got the dismount. 3 obstacles to go, about 35 seconds on the clock. Fanny Bear, this is right where Bowling Ninja just went out. Fanny Bear gets it. Gonna take a second swing on this dismount and lands it. 2 obstacles left with 25 seconds. Fanny Bear has a chance to become the first clear. Onto the highway, taking a dangerous approach here, but Fanny Bear gets the dismount. Caution ring. The only thing standing between Fanny Bear and the buzzer gets the dismount. And Fanny Bear is our first competitor to complete Stage 1 in the Regeneration Era. And Fanny Bear, our 42nd run of the day, the first competitor to make it through. And a burst of excitement from Fanny Bear at the end of Stage 1. They are going to be advancing to the second stage for the first time in their career. What a performance by Fanny Bear. Wolf Ninja doing pretty good so far on the bar. Oh, a little late. Narvik gets through the roadblock, now onto the propeller bar. It's taking some time. And, ooh, late jump. Razok struggling on roadblock, and down they go. Next up on Stage 1 is the host of Battle of the Ninjas. It's Michael Skunkfry, making his first appearance on the course. Michael Skunkfry, a rookie this season. He's never ran before, so we'll see how he can do, but he gets through the first obstacle, so a good start. On propeller bars, taking a risky technique, but it works out for him. Michael Skunkfry going quickly through these first 3 obstacles, and he gets through the Dragon Rider. And now on to the brand new car wash, but every obstacle brand new for Michael. And he's making quick work of car wash, and he is through. Michael Skunkfry with a minute on the clock, halfway through the course. And aerodynamics not caused too much problems so far this season. And Michael will get through it as well. Roulette Row has been tricky. It's taken out competitors like Spin Me in a Toilet and Dip K Joe. Michael gotta get this dismount here, and he does! Michael Skunkfry 2 obstacles away with 35 seconds. He might be able to be our second clear. Can Michael join Fanny Bear on the second stage? 1 obstacle to go. The caution ring. It's taken out Light V and Sasha. Can Michael get through it? Just the dismount! No! And he becomes the 3rd victim of the caution ring. And that dismount continues to be brutal. And another competitor has their season end right at the end of Stage 1.
Yeah, I honestly am proud about that run. At least I did a lot. At least I did better than my RNW4 run, and actually did not get killed by a banana this time. So, yeah, I can smile about that. I'm not really too mad about that. There's always a next season to go to.
Well, returning from hiatus is Ganail Dog, who last competed in Season 3 and made it to Stage 2, going down on the Diamond Dash. Ganail Dog looking to get back to that point. Did not compete back in Season 4. We'll see if that inexperience and rust is still there. Ganail Dog through the first obstacle and now on to the propeller bars. And going a little slower than some others we've seen, but on a fairly decent pace so far. Ganail Dog onto the Dragon Rider and undershoots! Ganail Dog, an early exit on Stage 1. And certainly not the return Ganail was hoping for, as he goes down on just the 3rd obstacle of the first stage, and this course continues to take out very skilled competitors. Well, next up is another competitor who's making their return after a couple of years. It's Munana Haisha. They went down on Tarzan ropes back in Season 2, have not competed since. Haisha gets through the first obstacle though, And now onto the propeller bars and overshoots the trampoline. Just jumped way too far, and Haisha, just like a nail dog, not the return they were hoping for on stage 1. 2 years ago, Skillicle reached the 3rd stage for the first time in his career, and he was one of only 5 that season to get that far, but he came up short on the window hang. Last season, Skillicle came mere studs away from the buzzer, falling off the top of Giant Chain. Now he is hoping to return to his former glory and get back to the 3rd stage for another shot at the title of Rising Ninja Warrior Champion. Let's go down now to the start line to find out how he can do on the 1st stage. Well, here is Skillicle, and he is off on stage 1 on the roadblock and going quickly. Skillicle went down at the end of stage 1 last season, and we've already seen 3 people do the exact same thing this time around. He's hoping not to have that happen to him again. Through the first 2 obstacles already. Very fast so far, but slows down before mounting the Dragon Rider. And he's got the dismount. Skillicle onto the brand new car wash. He's not faced this obstacle before. Skillicle gets that 2nd spinner, just the dismount left, and he's got it. Halfway through the course, Skill's got 50 seconds on the clock, and he's on aerodynamics now, making his way across these 5 steps. No problem for him. Super smooth on that obstacle there. 40 seconds to go. Roulette row has been a little bit of a problem for some of these competitors so far. Skillicle gets the 2nd wheel, and 1 swings the dismount, and he's got 2 obstacles to go. 25 seconds on the clock. He's got plenty of time. Skillicle is through and onto the final obstacle. 3 people have gone down on the dismount here. Skillicle, can he get the dismount? Yes, he can! And Skillicle gets his revenge at the end of stage 1 from last season, and he will be headed back to the 2nd stage, and he's gonna have a chance to get back to stage 3 once again. What a great run. Well, it's time for our final runner of day 1, and it is Alpha VR 370 YT, who failed famously the first jump of stage 1 a season ago. Alpha cannot do much worse than that, and he already has a new best result, but wants to beat the roadblock. Alpha gets through. He said he's practiced a lot on this course and feels fairly confident that he can do well. And Alpha gets through the propeller bars, already showing a lot of improvement. Now onto the Dragon Rider. Alpha gets the bar, and he gets the dismount. Alpha's through the first 3 obstacles. 1 minute on the clock. Alpha at a pretty good pace so far, and he is gonna set up the dismount, and he's got it. Alpha through the first 4 obstacles with 50 seconds on the clock. He's halfway through the course. Alpha on the aerodynamics, taking a pause, and oh, he's slowing down here, but gets the rope. Alpha, 3 obstacles to go, the first of which is the roulette row. This one is real tricky. Alpha never tried it before, and he goes all the way around. Alpha, can he save it? Yes, he can. Alpha, 2 obstacles to go. Can he do the unthinkable? 20 seconds on the clock. Alpha, and it's falling fast, and Alpha goes down at the end of the highway. But a spectacular run, so much improvement from Alpha. Gotta be pleased with his result, as he made it all the way to the 7th obstacle. That wraps up the first half of stage 1, and we have 2 competitors advancing so far to stage 2. They are Skillicle and Fanny Bear, and we'll see them both later on the 2nd stage after the final 50 competitors tackle stage 1, including all 3 new grand champions, Basepeak and Drastical and Bowsy Pie. But for now, that'll do it for day 1, and I'll see you soon as we continue the Regeneration Era of Rising Ninja Warrior. It's the end of an old era of competitors in Roblox Ninja, but also the start of the next generation of competitors who will continue their journey on the quest to become the next rising ninja warrior.